everyone, and welcome to Superhero Speak. I'm your host, Dave.
And apparently I'm clean, finally. I'm John.
I don't know if I've ever really been totally clean. JD.
Well, John, you are living proof that seeing too many ice puns or hearing too many ice puns can make you violently ill.
You're a chicken. You're a chicken shit and a coward, and I've lost respect for you.
Forget ill, just makes you violent. I mean, damn. I mean, geez.
You know, and I realized something before we get into anything else. That movie's sexist.
No, you don't say.
But not only because of the way they objectified both the female leads in that movie, but also
the male leads were objectified as all hell too.
Well, that's
yeah,
true.
they had George Clooney. What are you gonna and Chris O'Donnell?
Big old extreme close-ups on their wang dang doodle.
Yeah,
but 90% of Arnold's dialogue was ice or cold puns, right?
In the 1960s, at the worst, dialogue was never that bad in comic.
But Uma Thurman, most of her lines weren't plant root puns. Like, come on now, up your game.
Thank God. Most of her things were. I mean, like, if there was a way to make this movie worse, that would have been it.
They did not treat her fairly. They did not treat her as good as Arnold.
Oh, you know what? We finally figured out why Gotham City has such a crime problem, because they overtax everybody and they use all that money to make huge freaking statues everywhere.
This is true.
and who wouldn't be depressed in a city that has that as the decor? Oh my God.
Statues so big you can drive on them.
Yes.
But apparently the rampant gangs that roam the streets can afford face paint.
Glow in the dark
fluorescent
face
paint.
Yes.
Yeah.
Drugs and guns and racketeering aren't a problem. Face paint.
It's probably it's probably
prevalent.
It's probably radium face paint too, given Gotham City,
This is true. What a piece of shit that movie was.
So, John, besides being sick and not being here last week, how are you doing? What's new in your world?
Nothing is new in my world at all.
No?
Absolutely, positively, probably nothing.
Are you still enjoying My Little Pony? Was it 5G or?
It's Generation 5, yes.
Generation 5. Okay.
G5, no, don't 5G this. You don't want to cause COVID with it. Yeah. It's so yeah, no, it was only the movie so far. So now I'm waiting for when they're going to come out with the actual new series. Hopefully they've greenlit it. I mean, it's probably be on Netflix, which gives it a little bit more leeway. But yeah, I mean, it was a very promising start to a new series. The rest of the bronies seem to like it. So,
well, most of them.
Well, that video you sent me is that person needs help. That is.
Did you watch that video, JD?
Enough of it.
Yeah.
Yes. So it's funny. Like, all right, I'm not going to get into details.
Most bronies are normal
people. Can look this up. People who know who Chris Chan is can look it up. There's a video that I guess she did is proper now. I don't know. Christina, I think is what she goes by now. And it was so funny. It was sent to us by So Wizard in reaction to what John said about My Little Pony, and it's unfortunate because it's people like that give bronies a bad name.
Because people will see somebody like me, normal, talking about it. It's like, that's boring. Then they'll see something like that. I got to send this to everybody, and it amplifies that.
Yes, But according to this person, that 5G is canceled. I'm sorry, not 5G. Generation 5 is canceled, and make what was it, like 5 more seasons of Generation 4?
But it's not gonna. It can't happen. I mean, the fact that they got 9 seasons out of it was only because of the fandom. I mean, that was it. It was only supposed to be like 2 seasons, and then you go into syndication and you sell some toys, and that was it. The fact that Megan McCarthy did that well with the show, and the writing was that good, and they just, it's one of those lightning in a bottle things,
Right.
So yeah, and their target demographic, they had to up by 20 years.
It's
the guys, and that's the other reason it went nine seasons, because the target demographic around my age, between, what is it, 30 to 50, we've got money to spend, and we spent it.
Speak for yourself.
Well, when you're single and you're that age, it's interesting though. It does bring to mind this idea of toxic fandom, and it's just like sometimes you just got to give the new stuff a chance. I mean,
everything's got a toxic fandom. Every time Doctor Who regenerates, you got a bunch of fans saying, "Oh, that's it, I'm done." You know, like, and that's happened 14 times since 1960s, 1960 what 8? So yeah, it's just 1966. Yeah, that's right. William Hartnell. So it just, you know, every although, you know, Marvel has its toxic fandom too. I think all of DC's fandom right now is toxic.
How about you, sir, JD? How is the world of wrestling?
Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. I had a good weekend. It was my birthday on Friday.
That's right.
Happy birthday. You're not, you look very decrepit now.
I feel it.
The big 4-1, right? 4-2. Oh my God.
Do you feel a little cantankerousness coming on? You know,
yes. I'm sorry to feel a little O'Grady in my bones.
No, that's about what it is, you know.
But yeah, my kids did awesome. We tied, a state record for sending 12 public school kids to the state tournament in 14 weight classes.
For a minute there, I thought you were going to finish that sending 12 kids to the hospital.
No, none. No hospital visits this week. Knock on wood. We absolutely dominated our sectional. Sent 12 kids. We had the most in the state, 12 kids out of 14. It's awesome. We tied a public school record that was set about 7 years ago. My kids look absolutely fantastic. Got the big state tournament coming up this weekend. So I'm super distracted. Looking forward to talking tonight.
Great, though.
No, it's phenomenal. It's like the greatest. This is like the best thing I'm ever going to experience as a coach. It's what you dream of.
Yeah.
It's not going to last. We have 9 seniors. Next year will be good, but not this good. So this is special, and I'm trying to enjoy every minute of it.
Cool.
That's about it. Watch some TV. I was going to ask you, I finished the second to the last Peacemaker, and I was going to text and be like, hey, can we get an extra 45 minutes? Because I wanted to watch the very next episode. So I'm behind one episode on Peacemaker, caught up on Boba Fett.
So I was trying to watch Peacemaker while I was eating my dinner, because I had normally watched it on Saturday. I was busy all day yesterday, and my girlfriend called, and next thing I knew, I had to get ready for the podcast.
I was going to finish Boba Fett, but I destroyed my TV after I finished Batman and Robin, so that I wouldn't have to go through that again.
Wait, you didn't finish?
You didn't finish Boba Fett?
No, I haven't. I finished Peacemaker though. So
we're so all on different pages this week.
Yeah,
it'll be a fun show.
Oh, before we go on, JD, that anime that has all the impressive titles. Oh, I've got another one for you.
Lay it on me.
And this is the title of each episode has a title like this. Each episode, not the whole. So like season 1, episode 4, the soul of a demon drinking into a stupor at a banquet of illusion, while burdened by sins that lead all men astray, shatters with anger when the young maiden cries.
That was my favorite Guns N' Roses album.
Oh my God.
That does sound like the tagline of a Guns N' Roses album.
Doesn't it?
That's funny.
Thank you.
Oh, by the way, since no one asked how my week was,
you said you were talking to your girlfriend, so I'm sure everything's fine.
Yes, you already you plugged that in when you said about your girlfriend. So
we read the
tea leaves.
No, something that did happen this week. Well, 2 things that I did this week that I'm excited about. I quit LA Fitness.
Why are you excited about that?
I joined Planet Fitness because they opened a Planet Fitness across the street from my LA Fitness, and I was on a family plan where like it was my daughter, son-in-law, and my son and me were all on this plan, and my daughter hasn't been going, or my son-in-law, and my son just comes with me once in a while. So they have a membership at Planet Fitness. Like there's the base tier, and then the next tier you can bring a guest with you. So that's what I did. So now if he wants to go, I could take him, and I'm saving, like $80 a month.
If I may paraphrase Charles Barkley, fuck them kids.
But the other thing, I don't think I shared this when it happened. Around Christmas time, I went to buy something online and I couldn't. Like I was using my debit card and it said that the card was declined, and I'm like, what's going on? And I go and check my bank account, and there's a crap load of charges on it that weren't me. So someone had gotten my number, obviously. So I got a new card and all that. Like it all got straightened out. I got my money back, got a new card, and the show was late this week because I use an app called Descript. It allows me to take out all the ums and ahs from when we record.
Mhm.
And these are ones I have to purposely leave in for the joke. So you're going to make it harder for me. Thanks. But that's like, that's a monthly subscription. So
I got to be honest. I didn't know this till right now. What do you pay to remove our ums and ahs every month?
so it's $10 a month for it.
Really? Oh.
Yeah, but you can do a
I'll try
lot
to
more
be
with
better.
it. You can do a lot more. You can do a lot more with that app. You put any audio or video in it, and it transcribes the entire thing for you, and then you can go in through and has automatic tools to remove keywords and stuff.
And then they use your credit card for like buying stuff in Jamaica. Is that what it is?
Well, they didn't do it, but what had happened was I had to put my new card in. Like I didn't realize, and when you go to use it, it's like, oh, your subscription's not valid anymore. I'm like, what? So I got that taken care of, but the show went out like a day late. But no one noticed. No one that works on the show noticed.
I noticed. I always tweet the show, and I figured something was going on, or I had lost my mind. One of the two. Either are possible.
Yes, that is true. All right, so wait, hold on. John didn't watch Book of Boba Fett. Did you watch the entire thing?
That's okay. It's already
JD?
been completely spoiled for me. I've heard.
I finished watching it today with Andy. Mhm.
Yeah, you can't go on Facebook without having it spoiled. No,
I mean, the only thing I can say is like it was good, but I think everything like it went exactly how you thought it was going to go. There was no like
I don't know.
I don't think there was any major twists in it.
From what I understand, it turned out to not be the Book of Boba Fett, but rather the Book of the Mandalorian / Yoda /
Are we doing it? Are we doing the Boba Fett thing now?
Sure.
That part of the show. I liked it. If I have a criticism, I felt unfocused to me. Like by the end, and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed that the final sequence is the kaiju monster, right? I didn't see that coming.
Yeah.
With the Rancor, I thought. Sorry, John, you're getting.
No. That was already. I already knew about that too.
Yeah. So I liked it, but at the end of the show, I was like, it really felt unfocused. It really did not feel like Boba Fett's story. This felt like Mandalorian 2.5. Not that was bad, but
I kind of felt the Rancor going on a rampage after everything was done felt unnecessary. Like they didn't need to add that in. The Rancor could have just been knocked out somewhere after the fight. Like why? Just so they could have Grogu, doing something. And it's like, but it's not the Grogu story. It's the Book of Boba Fett.
That's the thing, though. It was though at the end, like the last two episodes before this, Boba Fett's barely in it. Right, the last 3 episodes are essentially Mandalorian 2.5. So you set up all this stuff with Grogu, right? You get the big cliffhanger, and at the second to last episode is what's he going to choose? Is he going to choose living with the Mandalorian, or is he going to be a Jedi? Spoiler: he's going to be with the Mandalorian, which was surprising. I didn't see it coming. So you had to pay off his Jedi training in some way. And I had just watched How to Train Your Dragon with Andy, so I was like, oh, it's like he's like bonding with Toothless. So it was literally what we watched before this, and I liked it on that level, which was unintentional. But I agree with the criticisms. It didn't seem like I was expecting it to be more Boba Fett centric. And again, I honestly think it gets better when the Mandalorian and them show up. But I don't know, like everything, it checked all the beats, it checked all the marks. Like everything was set up and it followed, and it didn't feel like they were changing things midstream, but at the same time, it just didn't feel super focused to me. It felt very scattershot, and it wasn't bad. It's like still better. I'll agree with Johnny. It's better than the prequels, but not as good as the 2 seasons of The Mandalorian.
The things that I've seen, because like I said, you literally couldn't go anywhere online or whatever or on YouTube or Facebook or anywhere without being spoiled. The thing that I saw was people were pissed that it cemented the actual timeline with the prequels.
They'd be mad about that. Of course, it's cemented the plan.
I know, but they were hoping that Luke would be redeemed out of that timeline, and also that it seems to set up.
You mean
like the fact that whatever happened between Luke and Grogu is what's set up for the law.
Wait.
I talked about that on the show last week. You were off, but I said like we have to get to Luke Skywalker being what he was in the prequel, the sequel trilogy.
So you said prequels, but you meant sequels.
Yeah. Sequels, right? Yeah, sorry.
Okay, right, and that's all canon, and no matter what the the angry boys. I don't call
Nerds
them
don't
fanboys.
matter. They're nerds.
Because if you're a fan of it, you're gonna, appreciate something about it.
You can be a fan of something and still not like the fact that they destroyed. They took 3 movies and were all over the place and destroyed the characterizations and
I'll
took the magic out of it. I mean,
I disagree with that. That's personal opinion. I do think they were scattershot and unfocused. I will say that because they were the stories of 3 different voices who weren't coming together to tell a story, which was a mistake. But if that's what they did, it's not like it's cheap shot. It's cheap shit when you can sit there and go, you know what, didn't happen. We're gonna erase it. Like that's silly. Speaking of silly, come on in.
But what I had.
Good night, buddy. Say good night to everybody.
Good night.
It's our weekly guest.
What's up? Mom made you look like Peter B. Parker. Yeah.
Yes.
Nice. They laughed. They laughed at your joke. Okay.
It actually does look like Peter B. Parker.
You do look like Peter B. Parker.
Yes, he does. So what my 19-year-old son pointed out, not my little 5-year-old son like JD, said it's interesting about the Jedi path of not wanting connections when it was his connection to his father, which is what stopped the Emperor. Right.
It's the hypocrisy of the Jedi Order, though.
Right. Exactly.
But don't have taste but touch, which is why it ultimately continues to fail. Which is what happens in the Last of the Jedi. It doesn't work, and it keeps repeating itself because these rules are inapplicable. Right. They collapse because of it. And it's the faults of things that make for interesting drama. Right. Is people aren't logical, even in their real life. People are illogical. People do stupid things. Right. So it doesn't bother me when people go, well, that's dumb because the people would never do this. But go on to Facebook. People do dumb stuff all the time that they know is bad for them. Right.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Well, and also people do things like you're basing everything you know about Luke on the original trilogy, but you don't know what happened to Luke between Return of the Jedi and what's the one he was in?
The Last Jedi.
Oh yeah, The Last Jedi. Like you don't know his journey, so how can you sit there and say that's not Luke? You don't know. Like
but they had to write that happened to him, and
correct.
Yeah, people and he's supposed to be the hero. He's the guy who everybody put.
Hero. He was not the hero of the sequel trilogy.
Right. He's not the hero anymore.
Right, but he was supposed. But you don't want to see somebody go down like that.
Go down like what? Like I said, he was bitter and jaded and sacrificed himself to save the rebels again.
Mm.
Like that's what he did. Like I know we don't like that. I know these people don't. I get it. There's a lot of people that don't like The Last Jedi. It's definitely the most controversial of the 3 movies. But I mean, like character flaws are what make people. I want to make people interesting too. If the old man just rode in on a white horse and saved the day, then your new characters aren't evolving. And then what happens afterwards is a different conversation. Because again, they did not stick the landing with that. But at the time, they had not blown the landing.
Oh no, I get the fact that you have to introduce the new blood, but by the same token, you don't turn the old blood into guy yelling at clouds. It's just. But it was. I don't know. I guess I appreciate the journey more than you do because again, we see this here as he failed, right? It's the hubris, and Obi-Wan warns him about the hubris that he had and that Anakin had, and how that's what brings down the Empire. And again, you see the Jedi Order thing. And Ray actually brought up a good point. I think it was last week on the show where he talked about Qui-Gon's the one that had figured out he didn't want to be a Jedi Master because he knew they were full of crap. That brings up a point. Ahsoka Tano was in this too, right? Yeah. So she, of everybody, she picked the gray path, didn't she? She knew that this stupid rule about, taste, was it touch, don't taste or whatever, is that, I'm paraphrasing the devil's advocate with that, but I mean, right. But that's the thing. Like she knew that was that was BS, right? Mm-hmm. So
she's a friend of the family. That's what that's how she explains why she's there.
And she tells Luke, you sound like your father. Like he's trying to train Grogu, and like being like he's kind of missing the point, and they're telling you Luke's going to miss the point on this. He's going to blow it, and he gives a child a chance because I can either teach you how to be this great Jedi, or you can go live with your dad. And Grogu's like, I'm gonna go live with my dad, like, because what kid? And again, so right there, Luke has a chance, and I like this because there's flaw in the character because Luke is super idealistic at this point because he essentially takes down the entire Empire, right? by getting his ass kicked and overcome, and he gets his evil father to overcome because of his belief. You know what I'm saying? Like,
so he didn't really win. He got it by default because of his father, really.
No, I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying like Luke's willing to sacrifice himself because he believes so hard that his father can be saved, and he's right. Right?
Mhm.
Like Luke's belief in that there was still good in Anakin Skywalker, when all logic and reason would tell you there's none left, was correct. So Luke believes in himself. Luke believes in what he's doing. But it's eventually this series of, and we get the foreshadowing of that. The fact that baby Grogu, who when you see his memories, you see the clone troops mowing down the Jedi, right? So he's seen this, even though he's a child. He's like, I don't want this. Right. Even though this is what my talents lead me to, this is not the life that I want. So Grogu makes the right decision, and instead of Luke going, maybe this was wrong, Luke goes full forward with what he believes is the way of the Jedi, which is because he never experienced it. That's what's weird about this, is Luke never went through the Jedi training that he expects everyone else to go through.
Yeah. And only the Sith deal in absolutes.
Correct. And they tell you this over and over again, but they continuously make these errors, the Jedi, right? Because they won't train Anakin. You're too old, and they won't make Anakin a master. They know he's a little dickhead, and they could probably just pacify the kid by saying, sure, sit in our grand Senate thing. Yeah, it'd be great, whatever. And they go, no, you don't get it. And they know he's angry. Like, so they poke the bear consistently. Like, it's Jedi. It's consistently Jedi hubris brings them down, except the ones that learned that not to do that. Obi-Wan learned not the way to be. Ahsoka learns not the way to be,
Mm-hmm.
And Grogu sees it and he goes, nah, I'm gonna go live with my dad. My dad's awesome.
So that brings to the question of Marvel owns Star Wars now.
Disney owns Star Wars.
Well, Disney owns Star Wars, right? So where do the Jedi go from here? Because I know that the extended universe took it in a whole bunch of different directions, including the Gray Jedi and all that. And it's like, they've now even, well, let's see, what's her name? Rey. Rey should have learned from Luke that the absolutes are wrong. Luke, everybody who's had been a part of this thing knows that the old Jedi Order only lasted as long as it did through basic luck, because a Darth Vader, and it was going to happen at some point. Mm-hmm. So where do they take the Jedi now? Like, I think they should be like all different types of Jedi, not just like the master and the,
No, I agree with you. And I think that's the entire point of, and this was a shame, is because there's a lot of like good ideas in these three movies that never quite get built upon, because there's not a singular creative voice that's,
because the writers and directors are fighting against each other.
They were doing what they wanted to do rather than serving the greater part of the story. And that's, people get on Kathleen Kennedy. If you want to get on her for anything, it's not making a showrunner. It seems like now Dave Filoni is in, I don't want to say control, but he seems to be guiding the creative direction of the Star Wars universe. And it's better. Like I said, as much as I wasn't unsatisfied with Book of Boba Fett, I just don't think it was as good as Mandalorian 1 and 2, that's fine. Things are allowed to be not as good as, in my opinion. Right. But I think the point of the Rise of Skywalker is there are no more Jedi. And that's what Yoda laughs about. He's like, no, there's no more Jedi. We were wrong. We were stupid. We learned from us. Don't be us. Don't be so dogmatic. Don't be so inflexible. Right. And it takes Yoda laugh. And that's my favorite scene in these new movies, is Yoda laughing about the books and the temple on fire. He's like, isn't this great? We're free. We're free of all the bullshit. And meanwhile, showing that a blue glowy can take out ships by himself. That's magic. I mean, it doesn't matter. Like, as long as the rules of the universe exist, the Force can do whatever it needs to. That doesn't bother me. But like, what I like is like they learn the dogma is wrong, right? And that's kind of the whole purpose of the first movie, of the prequel trilogy, is everyone is so full of these dogmatic beliefs, and it does nothing but lead them into destruction. And then Luke follows the exact same path. But again, I like the art of it just being like, we make the same mistakes as our parents because we're taught this is the way, even though we hate the way, eventually we embrace the way. And then at the end we go, why did we do that? That was dumb.
Well, the only reason the Sith existed was because the Jedi were like that.
Yeah.
If the Jedi were inclusive and stopped with, if they weren't the Catholic priests and said, sorry, you can't get married, you can't do this, you can't hold on to anything, you can't have any attachments, the Sith wouldn't exist.
Correct. Correct. They are their own undoing consistently throughout history. Like the dogmatic beliefs of the Jedi destroyed the Jedi.
Yeah.
Like again, I like the symmetry and the poetry of it, but again, there are flaws in the execution. I'll agree with you. You getting pizza there, Dave?
What?
You're I hear a rustling.
I was trying
that
to.
was the
I was moving
cappuccino
something.
machine.
Yes.
Dave, what'd you think of the show?
Yeah. No. Again, I said it when the 3 episodes ago where I felt like it took such a left turn into the Mandalorian, and
really
like,
did.
and it's like it felt like they looked at the script and went, or the story idea and went like, we really don't have enough for a full season. Which again, they could have just done 6 episodes and only focused on Boba Fett.
Or just
so they're like,
they could have just made this Mandalorian season 3.
right? But then it's like we're gonna pad stuff that's gonna set up Mandalorian season 3. You know,
Yeah.
and that's all really doing.
To use anime terms, it had a lot of filler. It was good filler, but it was still filler.
Yeah, I agree. And it's like, it just has turned, it did. The show takes such a crazy left-hand turn. And like the last 3 episodes they're just Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Right? Like Boba Fett, I think he's like completely absent basically from the second to the last episode.
He's completely absent. Let's see. Well, he's not. Yeah. He is.
It's weird. I mean, like, I don't hate it, but I mean, like, it's just interesting choices. I thought, and I think maybe they should have just not done Mandalorian and Grogu and just kept the focus on the Boba Fett story and let it kind of be what it is.
They should have had more
Right.
story for Boba Fett.
And
I
let's.
agree.
I mean, and what did let's be honest. What did the Mandalorian bring to that story other than
Plot
giving us
advancement.
what?
Plot advancement.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all it is. Like, I agree.
But because anyone could have gone out to Freetown and said, "Hey, we know you've been fighting the Spice Guys. Why don't you come join us?" Like, it didn't have to be Mando, but like,
But I think they thought we wanted Mando, and the series actually does get more interesting when Mando comes back. Like it got better with him. It's funny because it's like, they weren't working on this show as it was coming out, but it does feel like that. It does feel like they're like, well, this Boba Fett thing isn't really working, you know? And it's like, for the end of it, I still can't figure out, like, this turned out to be Boba Fett, his babyface turn. Like he's just a good guy the whole time. And it doesn't feel like that's what they were going for the whole time.
No, he was supposed to be badass. He was supposed to be an anti-hero, basically.
Right. And they didn't want to do that, which is so weird because we have the good guy Mandalorian. We have the Mandalorian, right?
right.
We didn't, again, it's like Michael Myers, right? When you learn that he's a druid creation monster, it kind of takes away the shape, like sometimes learning too much about the mysterious guy takes away the strength.
Right. Yeah. I mean, again, you could have just done the whole stuff with the Sand People, the Tusken Raiders, like just done that as the show and left him, ended it with him getting revenge on the biker gang, and just left that or whatever. But then it also kind of feels like a lot of it was done just to set up the rematch between him and Cad Bane from the Clone Wars, you know.
Which, if you didn't watch the Clone Wars,
you have no idea who Cad Bane is.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I didn't watch the Clone Wars, so I thought it was cool. I caught up because everybody was going crazy about it. And again, that's on me because I didn't want. And the way we imbibe media is differently these days. Like they want you to imbibe everything. Right?
Well, yeah, but if you want to understand, all this now, you got to do the Clone Wars. You've got to do.
I don't want to do
Rebels. You have to do Bad Batch. You have to.
I agree. And I didn't want to put that work in. So consequently, I don't get the satisfying conclusion. Like I caught up, like I figured out what was going on, but for me, the landing doesn't stick as hard. And again, that's on me because I chose this. Like they've taught us that these series are meant for the hardcore, right? The movies are meant for the casuals. The series are meant for the people that are hardcore into this.
And yeah, because there's like, and again, that's also the other thing, like the whole confrontation between him and Cad Bane, it doesn't make sense unless you know that, oh, he's a character from the clone. Like it doesn't, there's dialogue that like doesn't make sense unless you've seen the shows.
And there's a difference between Marvel where they're building on all these movies, but even if you had to watch all of the movies in a row, to see the next movie to understand what's going on, like, well, Multiverse of Madness, you have way less material to watch than something like this, where they're requiring you to watch all of these series that went on for multiple years.
It's definitely. But again, when you put everything in Dave Filoni's hands, he's going to go with his stuff, right? Because that's what he was running.
Right.
So I get it, and these are good additions. Like Cad Bane's a cool character. Like I dig the whole vibe. It made me want to go back and watch the Clone Wars. Right, it really did, and it made me want to go back and watch Rebels. But it is an ask. But again, it is an ask, right? That's what Disney wants from me. They want those network engagement hours. Right?
Yeah.
They want me to spend my time catching up on these shows. They might get it. They may. I don't know.
Right. And of course, now the big controversy is: did Cad Bane die?
He seemed pretty dead to me.
Yeah, but he seems pretty dead before. I think.
I don't know.
A lot of people were dead. So was what's her face? Was it Boba Fett's? Yeah, she supposedly they left her for dead in Mando, and then
same thing with Darth Maul.
Darth Maul is like immortal. He every time he comes back, he's just
they can't. He had such an unsatisfying end of the first time around that they will never completely get rid of him. He is the Jason Voorhees of the Star Wars universe.
Well, he's definitely dead though, but
for now.
No, it's
fiction, John. You can bring anybody back.
True. I mean, he's been
wait. Who's definitely dead?
Darth Maul.
Darth Maul.
Is he dead?
Yeah. It was which one? Rebels. It was in Rebels. He by that point he was absolutely crazy. And
does Rebels take place before or after?
Rebels is right before.
Solo.
Rebels is before Solo, or is congruent with Solo? Might be congruent.
It's a little bit after. It's after Solo.
Are you sure?
Yeah, it's just before A New Hope.
So Solo.
Yeah, but it's like I think Solo is like a couple of years before that because there's still a lot because
Darth Maul was in Solo, so depending on the timeline.
Right. Well, no, we've
all forgotten about Solo.
Yeah, Darth Maul finally found Tatooine, found where Obi-Wan Kenobi was, and Obi-Wan basically sliced him in half in one shot, because by that time Obi-Wan seems to know more about how to be a Jedi than anybody else. And
he's the last one.
Yeah, well, no, he's not. I mean, at that point, there's still like five other real Jedi going around, but whether they call themselves gray or not. What?
He's the one everybody knows about. That we know about as an audience.
Right. Yeah.
Obi-Wan's our last tangential connection to the Jedi Order.
Right. So, but he was dead. I mean, that was done dead. Like sand burial in the middle of Tatooine in the middle of nowhere, no headstone dead. They got rid of him. But it was also to show that like he had gotten incredibly powerful by that point, and it was to show that Obi-Wan Kenobi was even way more powerful than that.
Yeah,
because Darth Maul at that point had been fighting with Ahsoka and who else? And what's his name from Rebels? The other Jedi that was in training. So he's I don't know. I think he's dead. Anyway, that's enough.
That's enough of him.
Yeah,
for now.
Oh, speaking of Kenobi, May 25th. I didn't put that in the news.
That's pretty cool. The date, May 25th for Star Wars movie.
Yes. So when we were introduced to Obi-Wan Kenobi for the first time.
Obi-Wan Kenobi. Yes. I'm excited. We haven't seen anything yet, but I'm looking forward to it.
All right. And I guess we can't talk. I mean, I only saw 20 minutes of Peacemaker, and you didn't see any of the episode.
So I guess we'll save it for next. Well, it's still going on. So right? Like this wasn't the season finale of Peacemaker, was it?
Was it, John?
No. And have either of you seen the last episode? The seventh?
No, I saw the second to last episode. Dave was watching the last episode. He got a call from his girlfriend.
Okay. All I can say, I'm going to say one thing. It's not really going to spoil anything, but you will get it as soon as you see it. Insectosaurus. Do you know who Insectosaurus is?
I feel like I should.
You ever watch Aliens versus Monsters versus Aliens?
No. I know the it's a cartoon, right?
Monsters versus Aliens Wiki Insectosaurus. I'm looking this up right now.
It's a cartoon movie, right?
I do not know this.
Yeah, it was a CGI movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. It's good. Andy might like it. Okay. Andy might really like it. But yeah, Insectosaurus, and you'll get it when you see it.
Okay.
Because they took the you'll get it when I see it. Like they, I mean, somebody was a fan of that movie.
Fair.
Somebody that
All right.
worked on that show is a fan of that movie.
All right. Well, then let's move on to everyone's favorite topic: social media madness.
I think I'm feeling sick again.
No. You had last week. That's it. You're out of sick time.
Oh, you got a video for you, John. Oh, we watched that already.
I saw that.
Yeah, we talked about it already. So we don't have to-
yeah, we did. I'm sorry. Thank you, John.
Yeah.
Yes. So we won't revisit that.
I appreciate the effort.
Of course, we talked about the funeral scene being released for the Batman. John, did you watch that?
The funeral scene?
Yeah, Warner Brothers released the funeral scene, and it's the car smashes into the funeral, and the Riddler strapped a
crap.
bomb to someone, and
So what is this? What even is this anymore?
it's creating buzz. So anyway,
Yeah, I know it's creating buzz, but what the hell is this? All right.
Timothy Jones said, "Never mind the Riddler. At least George Clooney would have combed his hair for a funeral."
George Clooney never had hair that cool. And I don't like Tim Jones not making dad jokes in his tweets, sir. I expect more from you.
To which our resident expert, D Square, said, "Yes," with multiple exclamation points.
I can't wait. The more pushback this movie gets, the more excited I get for it.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't understand the whole. He's too emo. Like, I don't know.
Emo isn't a thing anymore. Emo was a music subgenre of the mid 2000s. Like, he's just a guy with longer hair who's brooding a bit. And Batman broods.
Yes.
When he's not played by Adam West or George Clooney.
Or George Clooney. No, George Clooney smiles way too much.
Way too much to be Batman.
And actually, he had really short hair, so he wouldn't have to comb it.
It's true.
It was it a buzz cut, or was that just Chris O'Donnell with the buzz cut?
Chris O'Donnell did a buzz cut, but yeah.
Of course, in response to our talk on Batman and Robin, Timothy Jones again said, I didn't think Batman and Robin was bad. I actually had some fun with it. It reminded me of the TV show. There's no reason to be sour about it.
That's
that's the one we know and love.
The tweet is terrible. Like, I can't disagree with more, but I appreciate the on-brand dad joke. Sour grapes in finer newspapers across this great land.
Yep.
Yes. My God. I don't know, Tim. Are you serious? Did you really enjoy the movie? I mean, I guess if you like the 60s show, our good friends over at the Omega Level Nerds podcast said, "So bad I'll need to use the Omega Level credit card to pay the therapist."
Yeah.
With a meme, "I am psychologically disturbed."
I like the branding once again.
Yeah, Bat credit card. I can't. Oh my God, that movie gave me such a headache.
It was so bad. It was not even fun bad, just bad.
Oh, and then I didn't get this one. This is also from Omega Level Nerds. Yeah. Too bad John wasn't there. We could have busted out the Voltron lions.
Yeah.
Four. How does it go? Four legs and feet.
Arms and torso. And I'll form the head.
What a great show that was. God, I loved Voltron.
And I included this one because I don't know what he's saying here. The 8-Bit Ray from the Gorilla Brain podcast said, "They haven't kicked me off yet. So here I am again with the cast of dad joke cracking SOBs."
We do a lot of dad jokes.
Pretty much.
But are we SOBs?
I'm almost kind of a bitch. I'll be honest. So that term makes me.
Well, you get to our age, you become more of an SOB, I mean, JD gets it now.
Oh, yeah.
And then finally, we did talk a couple weeks ago about James Gunn eyeing a second Suicide Squad spinoff, and we asked people who they would want to see, and John McCubbin said, "Gotta be The Adventures of Ratcatcher and King Shark."
Sure.
So that would be funny.
You gotta get Stallone. That's not going to be cheap.
Yeah, I guess so. Do you have to do Stallone? I mean, you do someone doing a Stallone impersonation. It's not like he speaks much.
You could get a Stallone impersonator, but then you don't get the quality Stalloniness.
Stalloniness? Hold on. Is that a new word we're coining right now? Stalloniness?
I don't know. I think the word has always been in existence. It's just that it's been given life now.
Episode title.
Yes. Stalloniness.
Stalloniness.
Oh my God. It's like loneliness, but with Sylvester Stallone. All right. On that note, if you want to know how you can join us on social media, be part of Social Media Madness, here's our good friend D Squared to tell you more.
Enjoying the show? Want to be part of Social Media Madness? Make sure you are following superheroespeak.com, where you can find all of the show's social media links at the top of the page. While you're there, you can check out old episodes of the podcast as well as some other great content. Check the site often because we are posting some great comic reviews as well as comic book and movie news content every day. Make sure and follow us on Twitter at SuperheroSpeak. And while you're there, check out the rest of the Geek World All-Stars Podcast Network. You can follow them at @stars_geek. The Geek World All-Star Podcast Network include great programs such as the Pop Prison Power Podcast, Cult 45, So Wizard, Fans on Patrol, the Gorilla Brain Podcast, and of course, Superhero Speak. Search for #GWAllStars. You will not be disappointed. Now it's back to Dave and the boys on Superhero Speak.
Thank you for that, Don. And don't forget to check out the Omega Level Nerds podcast, available on YouTube and wherever podcasts are available. And on that note, we will take our first and probably only commercial break, and we'll be right back.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
All right, gentlemen, we got some trailers to talk about. Let's talk about the one John brought first.
What is this?
What?
The Adam Project? I'm not familiar with.
Well, we'll talk about that in a second.
Okay.
Did you watch it?
I did, but I don't know what it is.
Well, it's Ryan Reynolds, so I mean, you know.
Okay.
But wait, let's talk about the other one first.
Well,
Yes,
the Adam,
we got
the
a
Adam Project. Oh, okay, yeah, the one that just premiered. Okay, yeah, that's more important.
yeah. So tonight, as we were recording this, of course, they premiered another trailer for fuller trailer for Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, and they're throwing everything but the kitchen sink at this movie. It looks like, including a cameo that no one was expecting, but everyone wanted.
Oh yes, I wanted.
We're gonna get Patrick Stewart. It looks like we didn't see his face, but you hear his voice clearly as Professor X, and apparently going to be the Illuminati. It looks like,
And there is also rumors that Mr. Fantastic is in there somewhere too.
well, yeah, I mean, the Illuminati is what is it? It is Doctor Strange, Reed Richards, Professor X, and Tony Stark,
And Black Bolt.
and Black Bolt.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
Black Bolt, and it isn't Namor.
Yeah,
Namor. Although he's usually an asshole on that team.
Namor is an asshole. That's why he's there.
Yep.
so now obviously this is a multiverse movie.
Yeah.
So that could be the Illuminati from another universe. It doesn't,
Could.
you know. But there's a question: would they bring Robert Downey Jr. back for a cameo as Tony Stark? What do we think?
Maybe.
Hopefully.
That's all I can come up with is maybe on that. I mean, I don't know. Everyone keeps saying Illuminati, and I don't want that. I mean, like, unless they prove me wrong, I just want X-Men.
Oh, I
well,
agree.
this is going to bring X-Men in, right?
Yeah, I agree with you.
It won't be Patrick Stewart, but yeah,
Here's the
I
thing.
mean,
If you give me Patrick Stewart, do you know what I really want?
Hmm.
I want Wolverine.
Do you know what I really want? I want Wolverine versus Deadpool.
That would be fun.
you
Yeah,
want
who else
Wolverine
would-
versus Hulk, dude.
That would be good. No, but I really want. Why can't I think of his name? Who plays Wolverine? Why can't I think of his name? Why is
Hugh Jackman?
Thank you. I want
Huge Jackman. Yes.
I forgot Huge Jackman. Like how I want Logan. I want Hugh Jackman.
He's
That's
busy
like-
right now. He's starring in The Music Man on Broadway.
I realize that, but I'm telling you what I want. Like if you give me Patrick Stewart, I'm like, oh, so you're telling me Hugh Jackman is on the table, right? That's
Yeah.
that's what I want.
But he's too old to play.
Like hell he
Wolverine.
is. Like,
He could play old man Wolverine, but it's like Deadpool said in Deadpool 2. You need a younger generation that can stick around for a franchise for about 10 years.
you don't.
he did say he's done with the character, but would come back for like the right thing.
Right. And like we've heard that before, and the right thing has come up numerous times.
Logan, yeah.
Right? Like Andrew Garfield, Tobey Maguire, those guys were done with Spider-Man until they weren't.
Right.
Things change. Like I said, make them change.
Well, it is kind
Make
of
him an offer he can't refuse.
Threaten to break his legs. I'm sorry, I'm Italian. That's where my brain goes.
And it's nice that Marvel and the showrunner and all that they treat these people right. Like they don't bring him in like they did the Ghostbusters in a cameo for the Ghostbusters reboot, right? Where they just make them look stupid and then kill them off or something. Not that the other reboot, the women reboot.
Oh,
right?
okay.
They did that.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it wasn't. They were playing different characters. They weren't playing.
Yeah,
the
but
original
they were brought in
Ghostbusters.
as gag cameos. This they're giving. I mean, look at this. They made everybody want an Andrew Garfield Spider-Man 3 movie. I mean, like, you know, it's
Did that? See, now I can't remember. It's
They
been
treat
so
them
long
right.
since I watched that piece of garbage. I
Ooh.
know Dan Aykroyd was the cab driver,
Yeah.
and then
Bill Murray
was
skeptic.
the skeptic who gets killed. But then was Winston in it, or I can't think of the actor's name.
Ernie Hudson.
Ernie
Yeah.
Hudson in it?
I think he was.
Poor Ernie
See,
Hudson.
but that's how bad. That's how you don't care about it. So I don't know. Multiverse of Madness is looking like. I mean, if you thought that it was hard to track how many characters were in Endgame, this is going to require at least 10 bingo cards.
Well, I think it's and the whole thing is they're trying to keep it all a kind of surprise, but then again, you're going to have Patrick Stewart's voice. It's like, yeah, no, he's in it, you know. I don't know. And then of course, people who here's another thing, right? We talked about this. They would never spill over stuff from the TV shows into the movies, or they would be careful about that because not everyone's going to watch the shows.
Well,
But we're getting from an animated show, nonetheless. It looks like we're getting that version of Doctor Strange, the evil version of Doctor Strange, in this as well. And I wasn't sure at first, but then like when they showed him and he had the multiple arms, and that's something that he did in the cartoon, it was like, yeah, no, that's the same character.
Well, he's done the multi-arm thing before when he was casting a spell in Endgame, right? Or Infinity War, right?
Yeah, that's true. You're right.
And there are it is all over the internet that John Krasinski may be doing a cameo as Mr. Fantastic in this.
you know, normally I'd poo-poo that and be like, come on. But again, the internet wasn't wrong about Spider-Man.
But here's a question. In all honesty, if now again, this is total speculation. If they're doing like he ends up in a multiverse Illuminati slave situation and has John Krasinski there as Mr. Fantastic, is that the only like now we'll get all new versions, like they introduce a new version of Professor X into the MCU, we would get a different Mr. Fantastic. Wouldn't that piss the fans off? Who's wanted this from the beginning?
You mean we would only get one version of Mr. Fantastic, or we would get like John Krasinski being this, but then they would get a different Mr. Fantastic?
Yes, yeah. Okay.
If they did, that would be really stupid. I don't foresee them being that dumb. Like that does not seem. That doesn't make a business decision that they would make. What do you think?
Well, they can do whatever they want because this is almost like a Flashpoint, right? They're going to use this to remodel the not reboot but remodel the timeline. So Krasinski may be playing Mr. Fantastic from a different universe. Who knows? That universe goes away and he starts here. Like it's gonna be hard to just introduce that Reed Richards has always been walking around in the background when, by now we would have heard about him. Right. So maybe this is their way of bringing him in and mutants because, Wanda's going to do something stupid by the end of this.
We've been calling that for since last year. She'll speak mutants into existence.
Yeah.
I love that.
In order to get her kids.
Yeah. Lots more.
Oh my God.
Bova. That's Bova.
Yeah. Bova was in there.
Bova.
Yes,
that was the horns, right? That was that with the you saw it from the back. Yeah, okay. No.
I love the line where she's like, I messed up, I changed reality and became the villain. You did it to become the hero.
Mm-hmm.
You did it and became a hero.
And became a hero. And she looks at me and goes, doesn't seem fair.
It's not.
Yeah.
But then, and she didn't like, I don't know.
Is Wanda gonna be the villain?
I hope not.
Boy,
I mean,
don't know. That trailer today sure left me with some questions. The
Mm.
last trailer, I was thinking, nah, she's gonna be with Strange. This one,
Well, I mean, though, obviously they show Nightmare and Mordor, not Mordor,
Mordor.
Mordo.
Mordo, yes.
Yeah.
Mordor.
Mordor is Lord of the Rings.
Hey, it's a multiverse of madness. You know, you see Frodo
So-
walking around in the background.
So it's like,
We
but
got-
like, does it end up being like she was the villain all along? I don't know.
I don't know about all along, but I could see her like going villain in the process, or seeing
Yeah.
a multiversal version of herself that pushes her further, or she slips further into madness.
Multiversal. Yeah. She's a
Multiversal,
the Scarlet Witch is a multiversal being.
Yeah.
And will there be a cameo from the TVA?
Who are those robots that were walking? They look,
That was
was a-
Ultron.
they look like the Ultron, but I wasn't sure. There were multiple.
It
There,
did look like Ultron, yeah.
those are Ultrons. Where is it? There is a storyline where the TVA uses Ultrons,
Is there? I've never read a TVA comic book, so I can't.
or was it the council not the council reads the Illuminati that uses the Ultrons? I don't know.
Okay.
It's like
No, I don't remember that in the comics, but I've only read a couple stories with the Illuminati in them.
I know there is one timeline. Was it when they collapsed the entire multiverse and there were like sections of this one world that Doctor Doom had put aside? One had the Ultrons, another one had the zombies, and
Yeah, so Doctor Doom. Okay, that was the Infinity story. Doctor Doom had like basically Age of Apocalypse, the Marvel universe, into like being different continuities were shoved into the same world. Okay, I can see that.
right. And we know that the Ultrons are around because of What If.
That's right. Oh my God.
So those Ultrons that could be you know,
Oh God, that's right.
what if really has a say in all this, or they're
Oh, it
they're really-
does. Yeah.
so, you know, I mean, we're gonna see the guy who's protecting Ultron, right? And Killmonger from a different universe, still fighting over the Infinity Gems. So
Yeah.
Maybe
So God, I can't wait for this movie. This is going to be good.
it's going to be interesting.
Yeah. And it's weird, like, because no one liked, well, not no one liked, but like no one puts the first Doctor Strange movie in like their top 10s, you know. Well, very few people do. I do. I love Doctor Strange, so I love the first movie. But this is going to be something that touches and it doesn't touch the broader MCU, not totally. This is definitely going to touch the broader MCU in
Yeah.
a major way. So I'm kind of curious where people will rank this after it comes out, you know, and not the fanboy way where everyone goes, it's the best movie as soon as it comes out, and then thinks about it a month later. It's like, well, maybe it's
Yeah.
number 6. So yeah, can't wait. All right. Another movie that looks good that's coming out, we got a trailer for the other day, is The Adam Project, starring Ryan Reynolds as a time traveler who comes back to save his younger self, it looks like.
I thought for a second it said the Alan Parsons Project, and I'm like,
I am the eye in the sky looking at you.
it's
So what
like,
do we-
why are we doing this on a comic book
I
podcast?
am the maker.
Sorry, everybody. That's an old person joke. But
If you
look up
know-
Alan Parsons
You know,
Project.
here's the funny part. If you're listening to this show, I guarantee you know the Alan Parsons Project, because Sirius is one of the most recognizable intros of any song ever made. Like if
Hmm.
you've been to a sporting event, you've heard Sirius. Like if you don't know what I'm talking about, quickly go into YouTube and write Sirius, Alan Parsons, and you will go, oh, that song.
Yeah, that and Blue Swede. Mm.
The Swedes
So-
are there now too, yes.
Ooga
All right.
chaka, ooga,
Yes,
ooga,
that
ooga.
one as well.
Well, everyone knows. If you're listening to this podcast, you know that because you've seen Guardians of the Galaxy.
That's true. Ah, damn it. They're ruining it for us for some of us. Like,
For us
I-
old people, So-
I'll take things only I know for 800, Alex.
I mean, I brought it up because it looks like a fun sci-fi movie, but also because we've
It's
talked
got
about
Ryan Reynolds.
Yes, I mean, come on, it's Ryan Reynolds. Also because we've talked about like how the streaming wars, and it does seem like Netflix is starting to up their game for their movies.
Because Netflix is the only one that's doing original content right now. Like Netflix is totally focused on doing its own thing and creating and putting new things out there, where everybody else is like, what's old that we can refurbish?
Mm.
I guess.
this goes along with, but they have to do that because Netflix is getting the amongst other things, the Marvel shows are getting ripped from them.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's true.
They just announced that last week. So
Yes.
if you want to see, well, you don't want to see Iron Fist, but if you want to see the other shows,
Daredevil's
Daredevil,
good,
and,
Daredevil's good, man.
oh yeah, so is Jessica Jones.
So where are they going to end up?
I assume Hulu.
Yeah, because they're too violent for Disney Plus, I think.
I mean, they might stick on my Disney Plus because because they just want to keep everything there. But I could see them putting it on Hulu too.
Put it on Disney minus. They should have a Disney minus.
No. Yeah, but I don't know. What do you guys think? What did you think of the trailer?
It looks interesting. I'll watch it because it's got Ryan Reynolds and oh boy.
I'll watch it probably.
Wait, John, is there something you want to tell us?
No.
He's a good-looking man. I get it.
Yeah. And he's funny as hell.
See, I always joke and say Ryan Reynolds is my spirit animal, but I don't go, oh, I don't swoon over him.
You can swoon over Ryan Reynolds all you like, man. He's a good-looking guy and he's very funny. We should all strive to be Ryan Reynolds.
And so,
I am.
yeah, like I'm just hoping he doesn't have that long period. You know how Jim Carrey just sort of lost it for a while and now he's back.
Oh, well.
So I'm hoping that doesn't happen to Ryan Reynolds. He's just too good.
He seems okay.
He's Canadian. Oh,
He
wait,
is
so is Jim Carrey, isn't he?
Jim Carrey is also Canadian.
Okay, maybe he will go nuts.
If he hasn't gone nuts already, it probably ain't gonna happen. Maybe I'm wrong.
Did you ever see that? Did we talk about it? Did you ever see that clip where Jim Carrey's walking around and he's outside of some kind of like award show and they're like, he wasn't even supposed to be there, I think. And they're like, the press runs up and it's like, hey, Jim Carrey, wow. He's like, Jim Carrey doesn't exist. And like, he like went on this whole, I guess, existential like conversation about like what's reality and all this stuff. And then just walked away. And it was like, whoa, has he lost it?
You think Jim Carrey was so famous? Like, I have a theory about this. Jim Carrey got so famous at one point that like when people reach a certain level of fame, they like stop. They have to like be so isolated from the rest of the world.
Yeah.
That they kind of lose it a little bit and they lose touch with reality. Like, and they're no longer normal people.
And that's kind of what he was getting at. Like Jim Carrey, the movie star, the celebrity that people want to talk to and blah, blah. He doesn't exist. Jim Carrey, the person, is something different, like
He's right.
Yeah.
Like there's truth to that. Yeah.
Well, there's also like a subgenre of that where the more intelligent of them usually go on a quest to find themselves at some point, and they also usually get really depressed, kind of like Robin Williams did.
Yeah, very true. So very similar. Like a lot of, especially for people that probably are prone to mental issues to begin with. Like I imagine fame is something that you would like, but maybe when you get there, it's not quite what you expected.
Yeah.
Fame, I'm gonna live forever.
I prefer the David Bowie one.
Yeah.
I'm gonna learn how to fly.
You mean like a winged reptile?
Winged reptile?
Like,
all right, what did you just send us?
Oh, I saw something cool. Someone sent me. I figured you guys would like it. I talk about it later in the show. Check. Someone sent me people find jobs now by just doing things with other people's movies. Someone recolored the 2002 Spider-Man to make the Green Goblin look more comic accurate, and I think it looks pretty cool.
Yes, I think I've seen this before, and it's like,
it just came out like last week. But
okay.
I kind of dig it.
I think I've seen maybe someone did a still of it, like colored it,
it's
and
like
it's like
20 seconds. It's like 20 seconds. Just click.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, I know, I just watched it, and it's like,
it's pretty cool.
Why couldn't they just done that in the original? Like,
I agree. I agree. It looks great. I'm like, oh, that's way better. It's almost like borderline tolerable.
Well, it's this is how you get a job at Marvel and at Disney these days, right?
Yeah, that's what I said. People get jobs. That's why people are throwing these things out. It's like having your demo reel. Like, why not?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I haven't gotten to the episode yet, but how was the de-aging of Mark Hamill?
I thought it looked all right. Dave tends to be a little harder on these things than I am. I thought it looked fine. What did you think?
Did it look better than the end of the?
Yes, definitely looked better than the last.
That's probably that kid that they hired.
We talked about that last week.
Yeah.
It looked better, but like I think they kept the actor underneath's eyes for a better expression, and it was just like there's something about it. It's not Mark Hamill's eyes, and you can just tell. I think, but it looks really good.
It looked really good. I did not notice it, but it's not perfect yet, that's for sure, but it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Close.
Oh, it's really close. Yeah.
Yeah. It's pretty good. It was pretty good.
I mean, once you look into Mark Hamill's eyes, you don't want to look at anyone else's.
Well, unless it's Ryan Reynolds, then
Oh, okay.
Perhaps we can start thinking about this show in different terms. What do you guys think of the Jurassic World or Jurassic World Dominion? Is that what the thing is called?
Yes.
Jurassic World Dominion. Yeah, Jurassic World. What do you guys think?
Talk about like everybody's going like too bad for the Dark Universe that it never made it this far because everybody's doing their own universe thing now. This is like the Avengers of Jurassic Park.
So I don't know the Jurassic World. What was Jurassic World 2 called? I forget, but doesn't matter.
Unimportant. Yes.
Unimportant. like, did it make money? Because it feels like now they're throwing all the actors into it for a last hurrah to like make a big buck or something. And it's just like, okay, but is it going to be overstuffed?
Probably.
In a world where we have drones and just the US alone has like 10 guns for every living being on the continent. Sure, the dinosaurs will get to take over.
Sam Neill looks great.
He does. Looks good for his age.
Good. Like he looks really good. A little crazy still, which I appreciate.
Laura Dern looks okay too.
She does.
She's always looked good.
I find Bryce Dallas Howard more intriguing behind the camera than in front of the camera these days. Maybe I'm wrong about that.
Well, unless
I don't
she's
know.
running, she's running in heels.
I also don't get that. Like, why everyone got so upset about that.
What?
Her running in heels in the first one. Like,
Yeah,
that became such a thing.
Have you ever tried to run in heels?
Learning a lot about
No.
John O'Grady on this week's episode of Superhero Speak. I have not. But I hear it's difficult.
Yes. Is it? How hard is it, John? Tell us.
It's near impossible.
Well, she did it. Good for her. That makes her cooler.
That's exactly like,
and the longer unless those things had titanium rods in the spike, those things are gonna break.
well, I mean, the thing is,
John. She was running away from dinosaurs.
Right. Yes,
My
exactly.
suspension of disbelief can go with super strong heels.
but also, I believe she came out and said like, that's, she wears heels all the time. She's comfortable in them. She could do it. So she wanted to do it. Like, but yet people gave her flack, and it's like, well,
People get
no.
mad about the craziest things now in movies. Like people are mad at like Gal Gadot for a line in a movie about champagne in the Nile or something stupid like that. Like people are like upset.
Really?
I don't know why. Like I just saw it on Twitter. I'm like, you know what? I don't need to know about this. So I moved on.
I guess it was that movie with her and The Rock and Ryan Reynolds with they were thieves or something.
No,
Is
no,
that which
there's
one
a-
is, or is it-
no. Gal Gadot's in another one now.
The Agatha Christie. It's an Agatha Christie thing, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Death on the Nile.
Death on the
Yeah.
Nile. Right.
And there's a line that people are like, how dare she say that? It's like, she's an actor, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She didn't actually say that. It was
Right.
written.
And I was
in
about to
the
say, and
story,
she's delivering a lot. She's delivering a line that was probably from Agatha Christie.
which is set back when there were things that
years ago?
people said that were just not really appropriate.
Right.
So
And again, like, I don't understand. I think, and I hate, God, this is so not me, but people like, I'm going to say it. People like to get angry on the internet about
Oh,
things
yeah.
that aren't important. And I'm usually not this guy. I'm usually like, something's justified. But sometimes I'm like, why are we mad about this? Like, this doesn't matter.
Because I think, well, I mean, number one, we have this tendency to give the voice to the vocal minority.
That's true.
They give, like they'll sit there and like, I see jokes like this all the time. It's like 10 people are complaining about this on Twitter. We better change everything, And also, I think it's like people, especially nowadays, need the release valve, need to get it out.
I
Well,
agree
you're-
with that. We're all
you're-
guilty of that, of getting mad and like voicing an opinion on social media. I can see that.
you're back to the brony thing. It's like if they hear me talking about My Little Pony, it's like, yeah, look at this and the writing is good. That's boring. But you see some crazy woman screaming at it, you're going to pass that video around like it was,
Yeah.
Leave Brody
winning
alone.
lottery tickets. Like,
Thank you. Dave.
like, look at this. Look.
It was a deep cut joke. I appreciate that, Dave, for you recognizing.
Oh my God. Leave Brody alone. I love it.
Thank you.
Anyway,
Yeah.
back to Jurassic World Dominion.
I
don't care about this movie. Does it? Am I alone in this?
I
Like
didn't
feel
watch.
like
I didn't see the last one. I
didn't either.
I saw the
doesn't-
last one.
Jurassic World was just Jurassic Park. It was like the same movie.
Yeah.
Right. And then, but at the end of the second one, all the dinosaurs get out, which was just like, that's stupid.
That was how the second Jurassic Park ended too. Like, I don't know. I feel like we're playing the hits.
And it was a thing where it was like, I don't remember. See, and that's the thing. I don't even remember. I saw it once, and it was like, eh. And there's a thing at the end of the movie where someone, I think it's Bryce Dallas Howard, has to make a choice between killing the dinosaur and letting it go free.
And they let it go free.
And they let the dinosaurs go free, and it was just like,
Are you?
so you just endangered all of humanity because you didn't think it was right to kill a dinosaur?
Well,
Like,
you know, in reality, you need at least 1,000 individuals to get a good enough,
so
you know, a good enough, pool to continue a species. Otherwise, they'll go down. Like the whole premise of this thing
Well,
gets
I mean,
more and more ridiculous
again,
every movie.
it's a stupid science fiction movie, so of course the premise is stupid in suspension of disbelief.
I know, but at this point, I expect to see the dinosaurs basically subdividing, you know,
you end the last
multicellular, like, you know, and to create more clones of themselves. Like, it's just.
But what I'm getting at is you end the last movie with someone feeling guilty for the poor trapped dinosaurs and releasing them on mankind, and then now what are you gonna? What is it? How do you now? Everyone's a 360, like, or I'm sorry, 180, because they got to collect.
Yes, we all make mistakes. You realize, oh, perhaps I should have butchered those dinosaurs. I mean, like, these choices are made to keep these movies going, and I'm just when it comes to the Jurassic Park movies, I'm very jaded.
I mean, at least Planet.
Why are you jaded?
Because I don't like them that much. Like, I really like Jurassic Park is good, but like every sequel has been bad. I thought Jurassic World was okay, but it was Jurassic Park. It's like it's the same movie.
I thought maybe a dinosaur touched you inappropriately when you were little.
Okay.
I would have let it.
At least the Planet of the Apes movies gave the excuse of part of the serum that gave the apes their intelligence also unleashed a virus on mankind and wiped most of us out, which gave the apes time, right?
Okay,
but
so
this is like
the ape movies are surprisingly decent, right? And I didn't want to like them, but I watched them and like, you know what? These really aren't that bad.
Yeah, but this is like you let a few dinosaurs free. Don't tell me they weren't full of bullets by the end of the night. I mean, you know, or the second that somebody found out there were dinosaurs, you didn't have, you know, millions of big game hunters from all over the world
jerking off for that opportunity. Are you telling me I get to kill a dinosaur?
Right, exactly.
Sign me the fuck up.
Yeah, they'd be out there with 50 calibers, you know?
Right. Now that is the movie they should have made, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah.
And then the dinosaurs kill the big game hunters, and we can all cheer the dinosaurs. That'd be awesome. I think that would be a great.
I don't know. It depends on you know, who do they kill?
Just cast some assholes.
Okay.
You know what the crossover we need for this? The crossover we need for this is Jurassic World versus Velocipaster.
Oh my God. You know who might be able to save the world from the dinosaurs? Buzz Lightyear.
Speaking of things that look terrible.
All right.
I don't know that it looks terrible.
Do you guys remember? Do you guys remember the Buzz Lightyear cartoon?
I do remember the Buzz Lightyear.
From a few years, like where it was just like him at Space Command and like they went
this
on
is nothing
crazy
like
adventures.
that,
No.
Right. This is like so completely different. They're trapped on a.
They've retconned Buzz Lightyear.
But I hate when they do that. Like,
I agree with you.
Like you gave us a Buzz Lightyear story. Now all of a sudden you're changing it. Why? I don't even get the point of this movie. Number one, like I don't know who it's supposed to be appealing to.
Kids.
And two, again, I keep having the question: Tim Allen's still around. Why not have him voice Buzz Lightyear?
Wasn't Tim? I thought Tim Allen had been canceled.
He might have been canceled. That sounds familiar. I don't remember why. I don't know. Chris Pratt's hot. That's why. Like, I think he was hotter a year ago.
Not Chris Pratt.
Isn't it Chris Pratt?
It's Chris Evans.
I can't.
Chris Evans.
Chris Evans.
Too many Chris's.
Too many Chris's. And they got Hemsworth in there too. Like, I mean, there's just, I don't know, man. I cannot express how little interest I have in this.
Someone does, because you know they made it.
I'd be interested to see it. I think it looks interesting. I have no skin in the game for continuity and Buzz Lightyear, but
I don't.
Yeah.
Well, as somebody whose kids watched the cartoon, you know, it just bugs me. Like now you're going to change the story.
Well, my kid's seen Toy Story, but he hasn't like. It's not like something he's super into. Like he was giving me a full dissertation today on How to Train Your Dragon and the different kinds of dragons and what they do. And why the Night Fury is, he's super into it. I've not gotten that on Toy Story, so this is not. It is not appealing to my son in particular. Perhaps somebody else's kids are really interested in this. I feel like it's too late after the fact too. Like Toy Story came out 27 years ago.
Wow. Thanks for making me feel even older, dude.
That's what I'm here for. I don't know.
Yeah, but wait. When did the last Toy Story movie come out? That wasn't that long
3
ago.
or 4 years.
Yeah. I mean, and people still go see them.
because they're good. Like again, this isn't a Toy Story. Right?
No, it's not.
Like this is so meta. Like this is a movie inspired by a character who, in a fictional universe, was inspired by a TV show. Okay,
This is supposed to be
You're
the
looking-
movie
hold on.
that
it's another level. This is like a fourth dimension. This is the film adaptation of the cartoon show that influenced the toy that Andy bought in Toy Story.
Right. Yes.
Who's on first?
Why do I smell copper?
Like, yeah, that's how I feel right now. Because you're right. That's how you reconcile this with the old Buzz Lightyear cartoon show. This is the film adaptation of the cartoon show that influenced the toy that Andy bought.
Right. Yes. Yes.
The Toy Story franchise. I mean, like, we're so in the weeds on this that I'm like, what?
Watch this be a really, really good movie too. Just if you ignore the fact that any Toy Story stuff exists, that standing on its own, watch this be really good on
I
its own.
guarantee that this was a story that somebody wrote and tried to shop it around, and somebody went, "Oh, we can take that and adapt it to Buzz Lightyear."
No, you know what this is? Someone saw Creed and went, I could do that with Toy Story.
Nice.
Oh my God, Buzz Lightyear's the Creed.
That was my opinion on Creed too. When I first saw the trailer, I'm like, "Come on, another Rocky!" And then I saw it, and I had tears in my eyes. I'm like, "This is beautiful." Because Creed's actually a really good movie. But this is what I feel like. I feel like someone watched Creed and said, "I can do that."
Are you going to be crying at this and saying it's beautiful?
No, God, no.
I think you might be.
Watch it.
Oh, I might have to make you watch it.
I don't have I know you will. I don't have nostalgia for Toy Story. I'm not gonna lie. I cried in Toy Story 3, man.
With the end, with the
Yeah.
garbage,
Where they were gonna
dump?
incinerate them, and then Andy gives them away. I had tears.
Talk about dark, the incineration thing.
They're going to hell. They're going to toy hell. They're going to burn in toy hell. But I mean, it's a great movie. But again,
toy hell.
That's what it is. They're going to toy hell.
Yep.
But it worked. It worked. It's a good movie. That's what I'm saying. We have good Toy Story movies. We don't need a good knockoff Toy Story movie. I have good Toy Story, and I have Disney Plus, so I can show the kid good Toy Story whenever I want to.
Hey, this is the Toy Story multiverse, dude.
That's what this is.
Oh my God.
That's what this is. The multiverse of stupidness.
Then the next movie that comes out is going to be a Western.
I was going to say, if it works,
you're right. They're going to do a Woody movie.
Exactly. If this is successful, you're getting a Woody movie.
And it's going to be like Silverado, right? Not it won't be a cartoon, it'll be Silverado.
It'll be a movie about the TV show that Woody was on.
Yep.
And then we're going to get Mr. Potato Head. Except he'll be like Shaft, solving crimes in New York City. Oh my God, I have to pitch that. That's genius.
He definitely needs his angry eyes for that. Oh my God.
I have to write this down. Mr. Potato Head
is Shaft, solving crimes in New York City.
I love this. See, that's how this happens. That's people like me should be stopped.
Well, no, normally it involves a lot more cocaine, but
see, if you're truly creative, you don't need mind-altering chemicals like Jack Kirby. Look at him; he came up with some crazy stuff.
You sure he wasn't on anything?
He's a World War II guy. Yeah, but he wasn't one of those guys in the '60s. He was drawing cartoons in a bowl or drawing comics in a bowling shirt, for God's sakes.
So for some people, life is their drug, I guess.
Yes.
Speaking of Hollywood having no ideas anymore,
I feel like that's all we talk about.
How do we feel about revival of Futurama?
Futurama has ended 3 times now?
3 times.
I think so. Yeah.
3 times. This will be the third resurrection of Futurama. I love Futurama, right? It's a great show, but if you're not going to have John DiMaggio back as Bender, what's the point?
Yeah.
Well, they said he's still in negotiations, and they feel that they can get him.
I mean, I don't know, man. The end of Futurama was actually really good. Like Futurama, like the dog episode, the one Seymour, is like one of the most emotionally moving cartoon programs ever made. So Futurama, when it was on all cylinders, was really, really good.
Yeah.
But I don't know if we need to bring it back. I think some things are okay to just leave, right?
Well, yeah, but it's like Dave said, they're out of ideas. They're too afraid to do anything new.
Yeah,
no one's out of ideas. I think there are plenty of good new things, but there's not a track record of them. So nobody wants to take the time to try and fail, right? Like, speaking as a guy who's creating stuff all the time, like it's a very hard mountain to climb. Like You're competing
mean-
with stuff that's old.
And I get it to a point in our current economy with movies.
Movies are expensive.
When movies are expensive and you got to get asses in seats to pay for them. But TV shows, like, you've already got subscribers on Hulu, because that's, I think, where they said this revival was, right? Hulu ordered it.
Well,
And-
Hulu had a lot of success with the Animaniacs revival. So
Right. But it's like, but you've already got subscribers on Hulu. Like, you don't need to do this. You know?
Well,
you
yeah,
can-
but you can always have more subscribers. I mean, that's what.
But I'm saying you can.
you also
I
gotta
get-
keep.
I
but you
get
gotta
that.
Keep your subscriptions.
Yeah,
get
we're in the
I get that,
streaming
but-
wars. This is what it is.
But once you've got people coming in to watch the revival of Looney Tunes, then you throw new stuff at them and see what sticks. Like,
But that's the problem. Is this is what's sticking? They're not throwing a lot of new stuff.
no, they're not.
What's working is this stuff. And I agree. We're feeding our basest, most unnatural instincts,
Mm.
and I'm kind of over it. You know.
Yeah. I mean, look at just back to Book of Boba Fett. Like, you know, it's not a series we needed, you know, when you honestly think about it. And it's to play off of the nostalgia of the, you know, original Star Wars movies, you know, giving us back Luke Skywalker and all. And it's just like, yeah, but I think that's part of the reason why some people are like, like, I'm over it. Like, I don't need old stuff brought back. I want something new, you know? So.
Well, I'm with you.
There's a reason why I watch so much anime these days. It's because Western media it's the same old broken record that keeps skipping. You know, it's the same thing over and over and over and over again. I don't even watch network TV anymore because who wants to watch another? I mean, they've already proven that almost every one of those unscripted reality shows are all scripted, and you know, and everything else is like, you know, who watches Channel 2? Because what, you want another CSI? There's nothing new out there.
Oh yeah, didn't I just hear they brought back CSI, or no? Was it, which one did they just bring back? Or was it Law and Order?
Maybe.
And it was just
They're
like
gone away.
the original one of those, and it was just like, why are you bringing back shows that are gone? You know. And speaking of which, we talked about this before. That's the only reason I brought this article. Is now have a director for the pilot of the Quantum Leap reboot, and it's Helen Shaver, and she's worked on a lot of sci-fi stuff before, Lovecraft Country, Westworld. So
Lovecraft Country was a good example of an adapted property that people weren't familiar with that really kicked ass.
Mm.
yeah,
You know?
And Westworld's plots and direction were pretty.
Westworld did something very different in that it gave us something different, right? It took something old and put a new spin on it, right?
Right.
It was different.
so maybe the new Quantum Leap will do that. Fingers crossed.
Maybe. Well, I hope so.
We'll see.
We'll see.
I mean, you're going to be looking for a Scott Bakula cameo, though. I mean,
Oh yeah, well yeah, he better be on the show, to be honest with you. I've heard it's a continuation, so hopefully they're working with Scott Bakula. Like, if you're gonna do it, go all in. Don't do MacGyver, right? Just give
oh
me,
God, no.
yeah.
So here's
give me Quantum Leap. Just give me Sam Beckett.
MacGyver is another thing where, well, we've got nothing. All right, let's do another MacGyver. Oh God, it sucks. You know.
What's so you would know this more than anyone, JD? Like, don't you usually look for a director once you have a script or at least a story idea?
Usually you look for a showrunner first. You show it, you staff it, and then you hire a good director to direct your pilot, because your pilot's your most important.
Right. So I assume that means they have a showrunner at this point and a script.
I imagine they have they might not have a script yet. They might be putting together their room. They're probably putting together the room. They have their director attached, because you want to make sure the director is signed to do this first episode or however many episodes you want to do, so that you can just go. You know.
Right. So, I mean, again, we've talked about this before. Doing a pilot doesn't necessarily mean it'll get picked up as a series. So we'll see. But I don't know. I'm interested.
It could be okay. You know, another one that's coming back in June, by the way, is the Orville. Have you
Oh
seen
yeah,
the
that's been
Orville.
It's been gone for.
Has it been canceled, or has it been off the air, or what?
No, it's been
Well,
out because
it
of
went
COVID
from
and all that.
It went from Fox to where are they now?
Hulu. No, not Hulu. Yeah, Hulu. It'll be on Hulu.
So I think Fox canceled them and then they moved over to Hulu. And then, like a lot of shows do, like that's an interesting thing too, right? Like that's a big difference in TV. Shows get canceled and just move to another network.
That didn't happen before. That's pretty new.
But
You
the
know?
Orville is a better Star Trek than
I've heard a lot of people say
the
that.
the
Discovery.
Paramount Plus stuff. Yeah.
Okay, I don't watch it. I've never seen it. Have either of you watched Discovery?
No.
I've seen a couple of episodes, and
So what is it?
I mean,
with-
it was supposedly completely different the second season or whatever, but it was a mess the first season.
what is it with like I've seen images. I haven't or GIFs and clips, but I haven't actually watched the show at all. It looks like whenever the ship goes into warp, it like spins now. Like, what's up with that? That's so stupid.
The part that I know is that they have a plant. What was it? Some kind of plant-based engine that actually let them travel between universes. So they've been to the mirror universe a lot. So the ship
that's stupid.
actually, yeah.
It's stupid because I'm sorry, it's a prequel and like so none of that stuff existed by the time we got to Kirk, and it's just like, come on, that's just dumb.
Well,
Anyway.
supposedly that again, like we've got nothing. We don't know what to do, so let's do this. Now they already did Scott Bakula in Star Trek Enterprise.
Yeah, but
now they're
you remember how that ended?
I know it ended horribly, and the whole
It was
thing
all a simulation.
And I'm sorry, Bakula was just not a great choice for a star cap. And the writing on that show sucked. And they brought in Jolene Blaylock just because of her tits. I mean, it was just stupid. But the thing is, like, they did that. And it's like, okay, we've got a prequel for the original series. Then they do Enterprise, and yes, you're right. It's like they've got all these technologies that didn't exist at that point. But
Right.
they're saying, oh, it was a research ship that was very hush hush and all that. Now they're doing Captain Pike series.
Yeah.
It's like they're going to keep milking this right up to the very second that Captain Kirk first sat down in the chair. It's like, how many,
it's ridiculous.
and every time you do this, in order to tell an exciting story, you have to basically destroy canon, which the original people that the real fans don't like. And so
every time you go back and do stuff like this, it's just like, but you told a different story. Why don't you just go ahead in the future? Oh, they did that with Picard. Anyway.
Right.
Which I don't know. I haven't seen it, but the things I've heard, I don't like about that either.
And Patrick Stewart's getting really old, man. You see him, some of his stuff, and it's like they're all but wheeling him around in a wheelchair in this thing,
Yeah. Well, at least we'll get to see him as Professor X one more time.
Where he's in a wheelchair anyway, so it works just fine.
Exactly. It's perfect. But anyway, I don't know. We got a director. We'll get another reboot of something old and complain about it, but watch it.
Probably.
So yeah, that's all I had for this week. You guys had anything else you wanted to add?
No.
Nope.
Do you have any recommendations for our audience?
Man, How to Train Your Dragon is a really good movie.
I've been telling you that
You have
forever.
Yeah, you have.
And you think you cried in this one? Wait until the next two.
Oh my God, I did. I got emotional. Again, I'm sitting there watching it with my little boy, and he's like, "You're no son of mine." And then he saves the kid. Tears.
Yep.
Tears. I got
Waterworks, Frankie.
What?
Waterworks is
Oh yeah, Waterworks.
Definitely.
All right, John. How about you?
Well,
any crazy anime?
How to Train Your Dragon? Yes. Also, Demon Slayer. I don't know if you know this. Demon Slayer is an anime put out by Ufotable, and it has some of the greatest animation you have ever seen. It puts movies to shame as far as the animation is concerned. Like, there are two levels of regular animation in an anime. There's the regular animation that they're pumping out as fast as they can, and then for main fight scene at the end of the show or at the end of the season or whatever, they have what's called sakuga, which is basically where they spend all the extra money for extra frames and a lot more action and all that.
Right.
This is just all sakuga, and when they get to the real fights, then it goes way beyond that. It's like Disney is probably looking at this and crying. So the second season's been out, and the second to the last episode in the second season basically destroyed people. This whole thing has been the second season was broken up into two parts. One part came out as a movie early last year, the Mugen Train movie, and then this year they did that. They broke it up into episodes, and then they added what is it called? There's a second part to it, the entertainment district. So yeah, some of the animation in this, especially in the second to last episode, season 2, episode 10, there's just no words. You have to see
What's
the storyline's amazing.
What's the anime you were watching where it's like 1,000 episodes?
Oh, that's One Piece.
One Piece, yeah. Because Ray was wondering how you were doing with your One Piece watching.
I petered out around 200. I'm up to like 230, but this arc is really hard to get through.
I think you're disappointing many people, or at least Ray.
I'll make it through it. It's just that there's been a lot of really good anime that's come out, or a lot of isekais, and I like those. So, I just that, and I have to find.
I mean, that's a commitment. How long is an episode?
The episodes are probably, I'd say, average 22, 24 minutes.
So you've almost dedicated over 100 hours to this so far. 100 hours to a TV show, John.
Well, when I'm bored. That's why one of the reasons why I petered out around 200. It's like, but I mean, I'll keep slogging through it I'll keep working on it every time I get bored or just need something to watch or get sick again. Jeez, the last 2 years have been ridiculous. So Demon Slayer and How to Train Your Dragon. Those are my 2 recommendations.
All right. Well, I will recommend that you go to our website, superheroespeak.com, where you can find links to all our social media at the top, the podcast every week, and comic book reviews by our good friend D Squared. There's actually a new one that will be up by the time this podcast goes up. So check that out. And recommendations. Wow. I recommend get caught up on Peacemaker, because we'll probably talk about that next week. Because I think the next episode, I think 8 is the finale.
So.
Yeah. So we'll talk about that in depth next week. And that's it. That's all I got. So on that note, as always, thanks for listening, and don't let your cape get caught in the door. Have a good week.